Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature. Learn, grow, and take charge of your retirement. This is the Wealth Through Wisdom podcast with financial advisor Bryan Gaiser, founder of Gaiser Financial Group.
Right now, I want to unpack some of the confusion around annuities, Bryan, because it continues to puzzle so many savers to the point where they don't even consider an annuity, using an annuity as a strategy for their retirement plan. They might think, for example, that annuities are just too complicated. Some also fear that an insurance company that they buy the annuity from, maybe they'll go out of business and with them, when they do, take all their money with them. Does that last concern even hold any water anymore? What about folks that are concerned about if the insurance company goes under? How does that work out?
So few have gone under. Insurance companies got to have about $105 behind every $100 just backing it on promises. Where a bank, if they go under, FDIC just comes in and prints money, right? Makes it whole.
Okay.
They literally do print money. It's not like reserves on the side. So insurance companies are reserve oriented. Not that banks aren't successful. There are successful banks, but a little more room for error. So you just got to be careful. It really boils down to, when it comes to annuities, that's just like saying football team. Oh, I'm going to just go get a football player for my team. Well, what position? He's going to be a quarterback. Well, if you pick a nose tackle, it's not going to be a very good quarterback. He can get to the quarterback, but it's not going to be a very good quarterback. So the point is, I think people choose wrongly with annuities. They choose the wrong type of annuity. Some annuities are built for growth. Variable annuity, I'm not a big fan of. I'm just going to be point blank. Variable annuity will, just for the most part, I find to be mostly something you can duplicate without having the annuity feature in there, right? And it's usually too high in expenses.
Okay.
But that being said, there's other types of annuities, and that's a fixed annuity. A lot of people out there probably own CDs. That CD was with an insurance company, it'd be called a fixed annuity, right? That same CD. So it's all it is you're loaning money to the insurance company it promises to pay. And so they'll create a contract, say, hey, we'll pay you for the rest of your life X dollars if you give us Y dollars. And if you outlive that money, we're going to keep sending it to you. Sound like Social Security? Very similar, right? Who do you think built Social Security system? Insurance companies. So it's not so much dollars and cents, it is, but it's not so much on how much you make in interest. It's how long will this money last? How long will it send me a check? Does that check have inflation included in it? So are annuities complicated? Yes. Are pensions and Social Security complicated? Well, by the last segment, you can tell they are. That's part of it. It's complicated to go, how many people can we make money? How many people will it take for us as an insurance company if we were an insurance company? I'm not. I represent some insurance companies, but I'm not an insurance company. How many people in a pool can we make this promise to? And so many will live and so many will die. So if you have life insurance, the insurance company wants you to live as long as possible, right?
Yeah.
If you have an annuity, they want you to croak as quickly as possible. I hate saying that. But if the numbers don't pan out right, they're going to use an actuary to determine, here are the odds for you to make money. And that's how insurance companies make money, is by if this person, and we're talking about income annuity, right? If I did something for income. But if you had a 5-year annuity that'll pay you 6%, not saying that's a number we're offering right now, I'm not saying that, but if it paid you 6% on your $100,000 for the next 5 years, call it simple interest just to make it easy on me. Okay. So for the next 6 years on $100,000, you made $6,000. Now they give you back 130. No fees, no harm, no foul. Then you have fixed index annuities, which similar to, it's kind of like the variable annuity. Found a good friend and had a baby called fixed annuity, and that baby's the fixed indexed annuity. Took some of the junk that variable annuities have and threw that out, and some of the promises from a fixed annuity. So it took the good, the bad, and the ugly and made what they, at one time, what they considered the perfect annuity. And that is, you can't lose your money, but you can gain. You may have a fee, you may not have a fee. Most of them don't have a fee, but there are fees in some. So what you're trying to do is, here's the need I have. Here's one example. This client, they came in, the wife's Social Security was, say, $1,500. His Social Security was $3,000. If one of the two of them to pass away, let's just assume she gets the whole $3,000 if he dies. But if he dies, that $1,500 goes away and he just keeps his $3,000, right? Mm-hmm. What we did is create something. I'm giving you rounded numbers here, but we created something where, look, if you pass away here, this annuity will kick in and replace it all the way right now at $1,500. In 5 years, it'll replace it at $1,800. In 10 years, it'll replace it at $2,400. Right? So it was like increasing. So when one of them passes away, that Social Security that goes away, of course, with COLAs and everything, a link to it, 10, 15 years from now that instrument they just bought will fill in for them, right? It fills in that income stream. A little more taxable because it's not Social Security. You do pay state tax on it. But the point is that chunk's coming in. Plus you got to keep your $3,000 because you're the surviving spouse. Are you with me? Mm-hmm. And it boils down to, folks, it's a great replacement in their case. Folks, that number is 336-586-5861. Annuities can be complicated, but usually when they're complicated, you're not trying to fulfill a need. You're just like, well, let me buy this as an alternative. You want to kick back and you want to look at annuities and try to simplify. Hey, when I die, my wife will get $2,400 a month for the rest of her life to replace her Social Security that she just lost. And she gets my Social Security. That's the way it works. Okay, let's do that. And then we can continue to grow our money in our growth pot. Here's our reserve bucket. We can keep feeding it because that'll be surplus income for her. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's to fulfill a need so you can have a successful, secure retirement. And that's really what it's all about. So, folks, once again, the number's 336-586-5861. And that couple's right here in Greensboro. And if something happened to her, he gets that money. So it doesn't matter who. Yeah. He'll either get it or she'll get that money. Yeah. And depending on if have they inherited more money or as things happen differently, they can take the lump sum too in the way we structured it. So there's so many variables that go with it. It's really about planning is what we're talking about. Our number again, 336-586-5861. Retirement planning is complex, but we try to take a comprehensive plan and make it simple. That's the number one goal here at Gaiser Financial Group. And I think you will gain so much knowledge just by sitting down and looking at your big picture and helping yourself realize it's all about proper planning that's successful in retirement and understanding the different retirement vehicles, if you will, annuities, CDs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, understanding how would I use them. That's the football team. Now, where do you put those players? That's really what it boils down to.
If you've got questions for Bryan about building out your own income plan for retirement, give us a call at 336-586-5861. You can also go to gaiserfinancial.com or it's 336-586-5861. The other thing I think that has created some rub for folks around annuities, it's important to keep in mind that, for the most part, an annuity is one piece of a retirement plan. Very rarely is a retirement plan solely built around just an annuity.
God, no. We say that, but then again, Social Security is an annuity. Everybody builds their plans around the Social Security.
But that's one piece.
Not everybody, but a lot.
A lot of people do, but that's one piece.
But right. So if you add another annuity there, all you're doing is add another Social Security-like instrument to your plan to known income. I want known income. Our faculties don't always stay the same, do they? Mm-mm. You've seen people kind of start losing their memory. Mm-hmm. My mother had Alzheimer's. Mm-hmm. Think about that. what pain that is. But knowing that check was coming in and she could be taken care of was a big relief for us. Mm-hmm. My dad was an insurance auditor for almost 40 years. And he knew the importance because he hung around people that did that kind of work, did my kind of work. He didn't do that kind of work. He just went in and audited large like dealerships in his side, the property casualty side. But he talked to enough people to go, yeah, I would like another Social Security, because that's really what it is from an income standpoint. Or I'd like that. There's instruments out there right now that say, hey, look, for the next 5 years, we will lock in this rate. You can earn up to, let's say, 8% a year of the S&P, but you never deal in its negative side. And let's say after 5 years, and it's a 5-year annuity, after 5 years, you've averaged, say, 6.5, hypothetically. Whatever that balance is in that account, you just take that balance in that account and you can move it somewhere else. You can put IRA money in there. You can put non-qualified money. Folks, there is no, it's a vehicle. If I suggest one thing to you is included or excluded, that's what you want to do. Mm-hmm. You've got different investment vehicles to help you get through retirement successfully.
Right.
What you want to do is that's a fit, that's not a fit. An annuity is not always a fit.
Right.
Sometimes stocks isn't a fit.
Right.
Because you hate any kind of reduction in the market. Well, then you probably shouldn't be in stock. Well, I hate reductions. I'm going to move to bonds. Well, that didn't work out too well in 2022 when interest rates went to the moon. Right. So there's so many variables, folks. Once again, sitting down and going through these different instruments, looking at where does Social Security play in for your situation? Where does an annuity fit? What about your stock portfolio? How much risk should you take? There's a lot of variables in this. No cost, no obligation to you to come in, sit down. If you have at least $500,000 saved, right here in Greensboro on Dolly Madison Road, right off of Friendly Avenue. That number is 336-586-5861. You'll sit with me personally, and I'll help you build the plan that, one, it's simple enough to understand, and two, it's not full of complex algorithms. We'll keep that to a minimum and just try to simplify for you. If you understand it, that's what works in retirement. Once again, 336-586-5861. No cost, no obligation.
Thanks for listening to the Wealth Through Wisdom podcast. To learn more, visit geiserfinancial.com. Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature.